Do you want a robot lawn mower? No boundary wires, no buried cables, and no setup headaches. Just take it out of the box, place it on the lawn, and let it do the work. And right now, two models are competing for your money: the eufy E18 and the Greenworks AiMowbot C20. Both are wire-free, both use cameras and AI, and both promise an easy setup experience. But they're not the same. One can cover nearly twice the yard size, the other can recognize almost 50 more obstacle types. Then there's the price difference, which might end up making the choice a lot easier. However, that's only part of the picture. There are quite a few other things worth considering. So, which one is actually the better buy? Let's break down the key differences and find out. This is where the two mowers are most different under the hood, and it matters more than most buyers realize. The eufy E18 uses what eufy calls Pure Vision FSD full surround detection. That means it navigates entirely using cameras and AI algorithms. No RTK satellite signal required. The camera has a 96-degree horizontal and 80-degree vertical field of view, and the mower maps your entire yard automatically on the first run, usually taking 3 to 4 hours for a standard lawn. The downside? Pure vision systems can sometimes struggle in very low light or heavy shadows compared to RTK-assisted systems. The Greenworks C20 runs on what Greenworks calls RTK Vision 2.0. A hybrid of RTK satellite positioning combined with camera-based vision. RTK gives you centimeter-level GPS accuracy, and the camera fills in where the satellite signal gets blocked. Because of that, Greenworks C20 is more precise with navigation accuracy thanks to RTK. But for most standard suburban lawns without heavy tree cover, the eufy's Pure Vision system will perform just as well in practice. This is the most straightforward difference, and it's a big one. The eufy E18 covers up to 0.3 acres, that's about 13,000 square feet. For reference, the average American suburban yard is around 0.2 to 0.25 acres. So the E18 handles the vast majority of typical home lawns comfortably. Now, if we move over to the Greenworks C20, things step up quite a bit. It covers up to 0.5 acres or 21,780 square feet. That's 67% more coverage than the E18. If you have a larger property, a corner lot, or a sprawling backyard, the C20 has the range to handle it in one mowing session without multiple passes. So here the winner for this criteria is Greenworks C20 by a wide margin of coverage. Both of these mowers use AI obstacle detection, but there's a meaningful difference in how capable they are. With the eufy E18, you get a 3D perception system that can identify and avoid more than 150 types of obstacles. That includes things like pools, tree trunks, garden furniture, and pets. It also uses dual ultrasonic sensors that can pick up objects as small as 6 inches. In other words, it has more than enough awareness for the vast majority of residential lawns. And Greenworks C20, though, takes things a step further. Its camera provides a 148-degree field of detection, which works alongside AI-powered recognition and a physical bumper for extra security. Because of that combination, it can identify more than 200 obstacle types. Greenworks also says the system can spot pets from up to 16 feet away. So while the eufy does a very solid job here, the Greenworks C20 comes out ahead on pure obstacle detection capability. If your yard has hills, this section matters a lot. The eufy E18 handles slopes up to 18 degrees equivalent to a 40% grade. It uses large rear wheels for stability on uneven terrain. eufy recommends avoiding terrain with height differences over 1.2 inches and keeping slopes within that limit for reliable performance. On the other hand, Greenworks C20 can tackle slopes up to a 45% grade or about 24 degrees. That's slightly steeper capability, and Greenworks equips the C20 with oversized off-road grade wheels designed to minimize turf damage on inclines. The C20 also features LED headlights, allowing mowing in lower light conditions where the E18 auto-returns to base. If terrain is a concern, the Greenworks C20 is the more capable choice. One of the biggest selling points of the eufy E18 is its 5-minute setup, and the initial configuration really does take just a few minutes. Place the base station, pair the app, charge the mower, and send it on its first mapping run. The eufy Clean app lets you set no-go zones, multi-zone pathways, cutting height, and mowing schedules. Multi-zone pathway connections are supported up to 60 meters between zones, useful for front and backyards. Now, over on the Greenworks side, the setup process is just as guided. The app walks you through zone creation, no-go areas, and transport paths, so the learning curve stays pretty low. What makes it different, though, is the hardware itself. Unlike the eufy, the C20 includes a full-color LCD screen right on the mower, so you can check status and access controls without opening your phone. If simple out-of-box setup is your priority, the eufy E18 gets the edge. On the flip side, if you value on-mower controls, the Greenworks C20 comes out ahead. Robot mowers are expensive. Both companies know this and include anti-theft features. The eufy E18 includes built-in GPS tracking, 4G connectivity, and an anti-theft alarm system. If it leaves its mapped area, you get an alert and can track its location in real time. Besides, Greenworks C20 also includes GPS and 4G connectivity for location tracking via the app, with account binding so no one else can operate the mower without your credentials. As for security, it's pretty much a draw. Both mowers check the important boxes. Okay, let's talk about money, because this is where things start to separate pretty quickly. eufy E18 comes in at around $1,999. For that price, you're getting 0.3 acre coverage, camera-based navigation, and access to eufy's broader smart home ecosystem. Greenworks C20, meanwhile, lands between roughly $998 and $1,299 at Walmart. So depending on pricing, you could save around $700 and still end up with more coverage, stronger obstacle detection, and better performance on slopes. Now that doesn't make eufy a bad deal. If your yard is under 0.3 acres, relatively flat, and you're already invested in eufy products, it offers one of the simplest setup experiences in this category. So, when everything is taken into account, the decision comes down to your priorities. eufy E18 focuses on simplicity and ecosystem convenience, while Greenworks C20 focuses on capability and value. And purely on specs per dollar, Greenworks C20 comes out ahead quite comfortably. eufy E18 is a polished robot mower with excellent mapping, simple setup, and a trusted brand behind it. It's a good option, but it comes at a premium price. Greenworks C20, on the other hand, offers more coverage, better slope handling, stronger obstacle detection, and a much lower price. Because of that, it will make more sense for most buyers. So unless you're already invested in the eufy ecosystem or have a smaller, simpler yard, Greenworks C20 is the one we'd pick. If this comparison helped, hit like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments which mower you'd choose. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.